In communities of extreme poverty across the United States, a practice that seems extreme to many is becoming ordinary. Families search for food in dumpsters. When stores, restaurants, and grocery shops throw away food, often still edible, those leftovers and scraps end up in the hands of people who have nothing else. In some cities, people who have lost their jobs or homes wander at night behind dumpsters, digging through plastic bags and containers in search of bread, vegetables, canned food, or expired products. The distance from a regular grocery store to a dumpster can be short when entire neighborhoods are deserted, lacking supermarkets or low-price stores. In such areas, residents are forced to stop searching on store shelves and start searching in bins, where goods discarded by the wealthy become food for the poor. It is a scenario of poverty that permeates daily family life, a story of transition from consumption to mere survival. Statistics show that between 30 and 40% of food in the United States is wasted. Discarded items become waste even though they still contain nutrients and calories. In places where daily budgets are too small to afford proper meals, scavenging from waste becomes the only alternative to hunger. Studies on the phenomenon of dumpster diving have found that in low-income urban communities, nearly 1/5 of respondents admitted to using waste to obtain food. Families who collect food from dumpsters often operate at night, avoiding the eyes of passers-by and guards. With bags and gloves, they sift through overflowing trash bags, searching for leftover bread, empty cans, or fruit someone threw away because of the expiration date. In moments when family tension reaches its peak, finding even a small amount of food can save the day. Often, what others consider trash, an expired yogurt, a leftover sandwich, a piece of vegetable, becomes a meal that brings a brief moment of relief. Not everyone acts this way by choice. Many are driven by desperation. In times of rising living costs and inflation, the gift of waste remains one of the few sources of calories for people without means to buy food. It is a new face of poverty, struggling with morality, awareness, and often illnesses caused by food collected from dumpsters. In the long run, health pays the price, but in the short term, food means survival. The leftovers from dumpsters vary in quality. Sometimes one can find packages with wholesome bread, partially damaged vegetables, a yogurt sealed in plastic, or a canned good slightly past its date. However, many of these products require washing, peeling, drying, and sometimes cooking in improvised conditions, in garages, on camp stoves, or over makeshift fires. Many scavengers start by judging through touch, smell, and appearance, discarding moldy or suspicious items. For families living in such conditions, every dinner becomes a game of survival. Mothers watch their children closely to judge which leftovers are safe to eat and which should not touch their lips. As a result, the daily menu becomes modest: soups diluted with water, sandwiches made from stale bread, leftovers of rice or pasta with a bit of seasoning. With a bit of luck, a dozen pieces of vegetables or a few fruits to wash may appear. This practice evokes anger and shame, but also solidarity. In cities, groups of freegans are emerging, people who voluntarily reject consumerism and collect surplus food to combat waste. In New York, activists organize night raids behind supermarket dumpsters to rescue food from waste and deliver it to those in need. Organizations such as Sharing Excess focus on redistributing surplus food, connecting excess with shortage, and supporting those who otherwise wouldn't have access to fresh products. Children raised in families that rely on dumpster leftovers learn that food is a luxury, not a right. They grow up believing that their plate depends on what someone else has thrown away. This affects their psyche, dignity, and social relationships. Health becomes another battlefield. Food collected from waste exposes people to bacteria, mold, and toxins. The lack of sanitation, contaminated water, or means for cooking makes these meals dangerous. Gastrointestinal infections, skin diseases, and diarrhea, this is the daily reality for those who must eat what others have discarded.